Welcome back, everyone. I was trying to ask my sister what we were doing tonight, but she decided to click record. Welcome back. My name is Julie, this is Martina, and this is Federica. We are here after the Oscar night, absolutely destroyed with 2 hours of sleep. I don't even know where I am, and I wish not to be on this planet after Oscar night.
That's why I pressed record.
Because you need
Because I need to go to sleep.
That's why you should press record. Okay, so what's the comment?
That's the crack. So
what's the crack? Martina, they can't see it, but I can see your background. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I have a background with Cillian Murphy and Adrian Brody post
sharing the
Oscar
statue.
win. Yes. But anyway, before we go into details, so what we're doing is we did our Oscar watch party last night.
We did.
Which was strange. Like it was different from the year before. Like a lot of surprises, I would say, which was expected because this year was a bit the quality was quite similar. So we were expecting some upsets, but yeah, the evening was quite interesting. So let's start with the ceremony first of all. What did you think about it?
Let's start with the presenter, with the host at least.
I liked him, even though there were some things that were unnecessary. Like
I think there's always something that's just unnecessary. But at the same time, I did like him. He was like very much into it. He was like having fun and stuff like that. But it was a bit unnecessary. Like they're making them unnecessary long, to be fair. It was about 6 hours?
I think last year by 3 a.m. we were already done. This year it was 3:40 and we were still
there, yes,
within the end of it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
The presenter was okay. Conan O'Brien did good. It was quite funny, but the production itself was a little bit confusing.
It was.
There was different categories presented differently, different presenter.
Same categories presented in different ways also.
Yeah.
The acting categories were presented like 3 different ways or something.
Yeah, that's true. But so that it felt really long and some of the bits and pieces didn't make any sense. Like I'm still confused as of why they had to celebrate 007.
James Bond, yeah.
Everybody thought, actually, I read some comments, and everybody thought they were going to announce the new 007, and everyone was so confused when they didn't.
Yeah, it's like it made no sense. It's like was there any anniversary for it? Or was it just because they've made a deal with Amazon?
Yes.
So
it was like Hollywood saying goodbye to James Bond or something like that. But it's hilarious.
It was, because at some point they even joked at the start of the evening. They joked about
Jeff Bezos.
Amazon. Yeah,
I thought it was that.
It's weird though, because Amazon as well as Netflix, as well as Apple TV, as well as Disney Plus, they're all part of the Academy anyway.
Much of an insider joke, like Hollywood insider joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, even the In Memoriam tribute was a bit confusing because they did Gene Hackman separately, but then they included it in the video. There was Morgan Freeman. They forgot Alain Delon and someone else.
Yeah.
And also the music was obnoxious in a way. Like not the music in itself. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't emotional at all. It was, I don't know. It was somber. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was that. I think the ceremony itself has the movies that came out this year lukewarm.
Yeah, it was. Yes, I agree.
Lukewarm.
I agree. But anyway, let's go to the awards, because honestly, we need to go to the details here. So first of all, our predictions. Julie did 10. Julie did 11. Feds did 12. I did 13 out of 18. Julie is stupid, specifically, because she changed her votes in the ballot in comparison with the predictions that she did in the actual episode, where she predicted Anora to win and Mickey Madison, which would have made her the winner. But
Well,
no, she changed.
I didn't change it. It's the fact that like I didn't like it was probably my wishful thinking asking for Demi Moore in the substance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it
Anyway,
was. Like I
I
knew she was
won.
gonna win.
I mean, like, it wasn't wishful thinking for Demi Moore because she won up until the Oscars. She had won every single category apart from the BAFTAs. So
But let's start it
that was
here.
a surprise.
So, actor in a leading role, Adrien Brody. Thank God, first of all. Secondly, it was presented by Cillian Murphy, who won last year, and it was actually very nice. It was like a Peaky Blinders reunion. They hugged each other. I think Cillian said something like, "You are bloody brilliant" when they hugged. Yeah, someone's kind of read lips. Actually, if
Has
you look,
done lip reading.
yeah,
This
actually,
is something new that is becoming more popular. Why are people lip reading, man?
I don't know, but actually, if you see the video, actually,
Everyone is lip
he
reading
said
though.
something like that to him, like "You're
Mhm.
brilliant" or something like that. They were very sweet. But then Adrien Brody, I have to say this. I'm sorry because I said it about Timothy, his SAG award speech. Adrien Brody, I love you, man, but you could have done a slightly like shorter speech. He got lost at some point.
No, I think it was genuinely just like he didn't remember what to say. He wanted to
Yeah,
say something, and
exactly.
he did at
He
the
got
start
lost.
when he started the conversation. He was actually going through it, and it made sense, and it was a beautiful
Yes.
speech. But at some point, he just got like I didn't know what to have to say. To
You know
anyone.
when he got lost, when the music started playing, he got
Yeah,
lost.
of course, because he got distracted.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
music, I swear to God, I live my beautiful word in my dreams will be that the Oscars stop putting
That's
the
so
damn
annoying.
music.
I agree with you.
Honestly, that's so annoying. And maybe cut like 30, 40, 50, 60 seconds of a
Like if they were cutting the music number from Conan O'Brien about not being late.
not wasting time. Like, that was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that was
Yeah, but yes, and you know what I think? Actually, I think the main mistake of the Oscars is to think that they're doing the show for us. I'm sorry, but they're not. They should be.
Appreciating
It's the
and
show. It's
actually
for them. You know,
giving.
the awards are for them. It's people that worked their ass off all their life, and it is for them, not for us. You know,
They're giving the
people
stage
that
to them.
think
I
that
don't
it needs to
understand.
be entertaining, they're wrong. Watch Netflix to be entertained. This is the festival of cinema. It's a celebration of cinema. You watch it if you love cinema, and you want to see like performances being rewarded, not if you want to watch a show. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, Adrian Brody's speech was chaotic from the start when he threw his chewing gum to his wife while he was
My
going up
God.
the stage. Like that was
That was
that was
cringe.
the start.
Sorry, that was cringe.
I love
Not
the
wife, partner, because they're not married, but whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
he threw his chewing gum that he was chewing while walking up the stairs. He was like, "Oh, I have a gum." Just dropped it on
Honestly,
his wife.
if
I
it
was like,
was
"What the
me,
fuck?"
I would have kept it in my hands.
Me too. Or I would
I
have.
would have swallowed it.
I would have swallowed it. You know
I
what I
would have
mean?
swallowed it
Exactly.
100%,
I would have
honestly.
swallowed it. Come on, but I'm happy one. It's super
Yeah, me too.
deserved. I'm a bit sad that Ralph Fiennes didn't win yet again. Poor thing. But I'm really glad that Coleman Domingo is such a class actor. You know, he reacted the same way
He
he
was
reacted
having the
last
time of
year.
his life.
Yeah, he was. It was during the break. He was singing and stuff. It was great. Adrien Brody went to speak to Timothy Chalamet. I saw it in the backstage pictures. He was
What
very
did he say?
gracious to him. I don't know. He was hugging him, and
Did
he
you
was
not
very
find anyone
gracious
lip
to him.
reading?
I don't think so. No. But anyway, it was great to see Adrien Brody getting his second Oscar. So he's up there with. So I think now we have Daniel
Robert De Niro.
Day-Lewis with 3 Oscars, and then Jack Nicholson, Anthony Hopkins, and Robert De Niro, and Adrien Brody with 2 Oscars. That's it. Everyone else that has won an Oscar, which aren't many anyway, they won 1. It's incredible. He's in a great pack of people, you know?
Yes.
No, but also is the fact that he got 2 nominations and he got 2 wins.
Yeah, a 100% win rate. Yeah.
That's crazy.
If you think that Mary Streep had like 21 nominations, something like that, and 2 wins, you know.
Yeah.
Actor in a supporting role, Kieran Culkin, that's no surprise.
It
No,
wasn't a
his
surprise,
speech
but
was
it was
chaotic
actually
as
good.
well.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was. It
Yeah, it was
reminded me
fun.
of Robert Downey Jr. last year. Also, he was introduced by Robert Downey Jr. and there, for some reason, he reminds me of him, like personality
Yeah, yeah.
wise.
He was just rumbling about asking his wife to have 4 kids now that he won the Oscar
It
because
was
that was the
hilarious.
pact. So that was hilarious.
And I liked the tribute that Robert Downey Jr. did to Jeremy Strong. I didn't know actually they've known each other for that long. I know they've done The Judge together, which is a
27
movie.
years or something, he said.
Yeah, from Chaplin, he said.
30 years.
Yeah,
Something like that.
they did
Yeah.
The Judge together, which is like an independent movie. Robert Duvall actually got a nomination at the Oscars for his performance in it. I love that movie, but I thought they met there, but no, apparently not.
Nope.
That's actually the first time I've seen Jeremy Strong in a movie, in The Judge. But yeah, that was expected, and we all got it. Actress in a leading role. This was a shocker.
I saw Martina's face. I turned around and she was like, her jaw was on the floor. And she was like, what?
It was such a shocker, honestly. And I really feel for her. Like, I watched that video 2 or 3 times. Her face, she really didn't expect it, Demi Moore, to lose.
I mean, I rewatched the video and I don't think she was hoping for it. She was pretty realistic, but with the trend of winning everything else, the hope was there. So I didn't see her face going blank or anything, but that was a surprise in terms of trend. In terms of performance, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad that Mickey Madison won. I do believe that she, in spite if you like the movie or not, her performance is really good because she completely transformed herself. Her character is completely different from the way that she carries herself in real life in a way. So yeah.
I am really against.
I didn't like it, so I'm very upset about that.
Me too, and I'm
that
really
I-
against giving Oscars to such young people, like first movie, not young people, first movie people.
She's so far she's been in 10 movies, and they asked her that question during the interview post award engraving, and they were like, "What do you think is gonna happen now that you won an Oscar?" And she was like, "I'm not gonna change. It's gonna probably open a lot of more opportunities, but I've done 10 movies so far, and this is just gonna get better for me." So she hasn't been not humble or bragging about, "Oh, now I'm the shit."
It's
Blah,
just that she's been in 2 movies that
No.
are recognizable.
blah,
You
blah.
know. Julie,
she's not that bad. No? Like, she's not a bad person. I'm just saying, like, I'm tired of, like, this Oscars going to people that never won it because they have to win it. Or people that are, like, really young because they're young and they can make history. Or movies that they deserved it. Or this one didn't win this much. This one didn't win this. And this country never won. And this, like... Can we just give Oscars to people that actually deserved it?
In this case, I do have to say that both of them were deserving. It's 2 different intensities, 2 different kind of performances.
What, you mean for her?
But both her and Demi Moore, both of them deserve the win.
Deserved it. Absolutely. I would have thrown the Oscar statue out of the window instead of giving it to her. Honestly, that was crazy.
yeah, I found it a shocker as well. It did. It did break
But
my
not
heart.
only that, like the whole movie, the whole Sean Baker thing, the whole, like, I get it.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
it's a movie. I don't even know why the movie's at the Oscars. Like, everything everywhere all at once. What?
No, I was actually doing. Anyway, we'll talk about it when we get to Best Picture. But yeah, I mean, that was a surprise. Yes, first surprise. Actress in a supporting role, Zoe Saldana. That wasn't
No
a surprise.
surprises.
Yes, she did a nice speech, actually. She carried herself very graciously. She was very emotional.
She does have a little bit of a mental breakdown, to be fair.
Well, she didn't have an easy campaign because, campaigning for the Oscars is already hard, but campaigning in those circumstances was quite something.
It was strenuous.
Yeah.
And I had to tiptoe around thanking the cast, but not being particular about who you're naming, just being generic. There has to be a lot of stress while you're giving a speech that is kind of like in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Animated feature film. So, Flo. Yes.
I understand the decision. I understand. I can say that probably these Oscars were the Hindi movie Oscars.
Yes.
Do I agree? My heart says no. I would have give it to the Wild Robot. Do I understand? I do. I understand the technology used, the artistry behind the movie itself, but equally, I know that DreamWorks probably had much more money to spend on to make the quality of movie that they made, but the story had a little bit more heart, so that's why I would have preferred to see the Wild Robot rather than Flo. But I get it.
I subscribe to everything you said. There is no need that I add anything, but I do understand why Flo won. I really do.
You can pass
Julie,
to the next, no, you can pass to the next category because otherwise I'm actually like, generally, it makes no sense for me for a movie that small to be actually winning against something, and I'm not talking about the company, like something that is so deep and so profound as a movie that for once that I deserved it, and they decided to say, you know what, this country has never won, this movie has been done, it's been done well enough, so let's give it to them. No, sorry. This one was completely missed. And it's like, oh, you need to watch Flow. I'll never watch Flow.
No, if actually, in terms of
like even
topic,
just the
depth, and technicality, actually, they're very similar.
Even just the colors of the Wild Robot and the shot that you see 5 minutes into the movie should have been enough to win an Oscar.
Oh, I know. I agree with you.
They shouldn't have. That's all. There should have been a discussion about it, but apparently it was.
There was. This is again. This year it was the festival of indie movies, mostly because they didn't really have movies.
This year was a circus, but okay.
This
was a pure circus.
Yeah. So
that's many years, huh? This is not the first year that happened.
I mean, I don't want to remind that.
No. Not any particular movies, and not
every other year there is a lukewarm Oscar season.
Yeah.
Not every other year, but you're kind of right. Like maybe every 2 years,
Yeah.
Yes. This was it. Cinematography. So a quick round of technical categories. So cinematography, The Brutalist, we all got it, and it was very well deserved.
Absolutely.
Same for Wicked, costume design. Same for film, makeup for The Substance. Same for original score for The Brutalist. Wicked production design. Sound and visual effects for Dune 2 and adapted screenplay for Conclave. We all got this and they are all very well deserved. Now, original screenplay.
Anora.
Let's start.
So
I'm still here, one international, which I'm the only one that got this, and I'm quite happy about it. But then let's start with the Anora thing. So Anora won in the person of Sean Baker, because he's the one that wrote, directed, edited, and produced the movie. He won original screenplay. He won directing. He won film editing.
Yeah, because he edited the film as well.
And he won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, he's the first person after Walt Disney. The guy, Walt Disney, okay? But to understand the gravity of what they did.
Episode, honestly. I'm just
to have won 4 Oscar by a single person in a single night. Now tell me that Sean Baker will be remembered in history as Walt Disney, and I will tell you that they did the right thing. Okay?
Tell
Just
me
that.
that Christopher Nolan has one Oscar, and I'll tell you that. What is wrong
Martin
with
Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, what are we talking about? And whatever, like some of these people don't write their own movies, but like Christopher Nolan does, for example.
Yeah.
And
you? And it takes about 10 years of notebooks to actually write movies that end up in being Inception.
I mean, Inception didn't win Best Screenplay, you know what I mean? Last year, it was the festival of, let's try to not give too much to Oppenheimer. It was the opposite. Like, so we're giving him directing, so we're not giving him screenplay, because otherwise they win everything. I mean, it was the opposite. This year, they did manage to
I don't know if it's
somehow concentrate everything into one, you know?
so. What I said the other then when we were talking, I was like, I don't know if it's both an emotional as well as a justification to give it best movie, because to be best movie, you kind of have to win a lot of categories, right? And that's the only reason. If they wanted Anora to win best movie, that's the only reason. Then they got everything else. Meaning, I think what we thought was going to have a big impact, which is all the debacles and everything that happened, both for Emilia Perez and for the AI thing, for the Brutalist, is actually what influenced a lot of this. As well as probably, this is my opinion, the emotional impact of the events happening in Los Angeles and everything, and the way that most of the movies that were presented this year were all quite heavy topic. The only one that is not heavy and is just a comedy and a romantic comedy, it's Anora. But I think it has more to do with the fact that everything else was a little bit controversial. So this one was the easy way out to be like, hey, it's a nice enough movie. It's funny. It's lighthearted. It still discussed some topics about being underprivileged and whatever in America. Although this one is the least problematic movie from Sean Baker, because he talks about underprivileged people in America. In every project that he does, he always shines a light on the unlucky. But this one is the one that has the least heavier impact on the actual plot. So
so now I don't want to comment, okay? And I want to say one thing, regardless of if it's right or wrong, what they did, I have a few questions for both of you. Real questions. First question. Do you think anyone will remember this movie?
No.
Not in 100 years, in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years? Okay.
No.
Do you think this movie has had an impact on society in any way?
No.
It was a cultural phenomenon.
No.
In any way. Then do you think that if either Oppenheimer or Poor Things, one of them, or The Holdovers, which actually was an indie one, were nominated this year, Anora would have won anything?
I wouldn't put Oppenheimer and Poor Thing in the same category, because those are completely two different levels. I would say, think about
The Holdovers.
The Holdovers.
Even though, I mean, if Oppenheimer came out this year, it would have been nominated against Anora, most likely.
I wouldn't even make it.
That's
exactly. So my thing is, The Holdovers, right, was the indie movie of last year. Take The Holdovers, put it in this year, okay? Would Anora have won Best Picture, Best Editing, Best Director, Best
No.
Whatever the hell was the other one?
Let's
Screenplay.
Let's still remember that there's spots to fill when movies come out. Like, they need to put something. They need to put movies.
No, but the thing is,
They had to put that one.
I do understand that it's also down to luck. I do understand that,
Absolutely.
and we can't do anything about it. Like they came out this year, it won. My
It's the
point
same
is
thing as
just on
Coda.
exactly. My point is only on the choices that the Academy make in a optics of history making. Okay, like you are doing such a big hassle to give an Oscar to Martin Scorsese. Okay, to give an Oscar to Christopher Nolan, he had to wait 20 years. Then even Villeneuve is still fucking waiting. Sorry, he's still waiting. Okay, and then you give 4 Oscars to Sean Baker for an aura, making him alike to Walt Disney. Like, are you mad? This is my thing. You know what I mean?
I feel like if they actually coordinated that, they would have been like, "No, that's too much."
That's why I'm leaning towards the emotional aspect of things. Like, we all know that all of these people probably haven't seen all of the movies. They probably saw just the 10 that were nominated for Best Picture, or they probably just saw main 5. And I feel like there's some level of, oh my God, all of these movies are quite heavy. I don't want to spend the time watching this. So I feel like it became of a, hey, I enjoyed this one. It was more like, I'm not voting for the Oscar, I'm voting for whatever,
lively,
which is
yeah.
not something that you want to associate with the Academy, of course, because there's prestige with the title. But in this year, it was such a weak season that at that point they just went with, hey, he had a pretty much a good start in Cannes, because all of those other festivals do have an influence on the movie, and the public reception of the film itself was quite positive. So it was like, you know what, kind of a no-brainer, in the sense that this is an easy choice, this is an easy movie. Yeah, it's on this season, let's give it the win. But it's ridiculous that it's taught that way in such a high level, because of course it's like, it makes you feel like every other win kind of lose meaning a bit, if it makes sense. But this year,
what I was trying to say is that you're comparing, not you personally, but you know what I mean. The Academy made a movie about whatever you want to call it, her, win the Oscar. Let's be very clear. This is not Mikey Madison. This is the actual movie. I have nothing against the girl. Okay.
I have nothing against Sean Baker either. It's just, again, the choices that the Academy makes.
That portrays that story with a movie that portrays a story based in one of the biggest mistakes that humanity ever did. And because you think that that's too heavy to bear, then you give it to that instead of actually like celebrating the story that the other movie is saying.
No, but Julie, you know what? I think Feds is right. I think she's right. The Gen Z movie won because of a Gen Z reason, which is I want everything light. You know, in a few years, I would want this movie to be split in 60 reels so I can scroll instead of watching it on a screen in a cinema. You know what I mean?
She's absolutely right.
That's exactly what's going on.
You weren't even there yesterday night, Martina. You weren't even there. Me and Denisa said the same thing. It's a Gen Z movie.
Yeah.
It is killing
me. They won for a Gen Z reason.
Because the movie is so light. Like, okay. Anyway.
Honestly, I would have preferred Wicked to win a million times.
Oh, of course, it's beautiful.
You're basically coming at the tail end of a really difficult / problematic season, because the strikes and all the merger of different production companies, all the noise, all that, it become quite a toxic season for awards. And then there's all this discourse about AI and all of this discourse about racism and all of that. So they just probably went with the, I don't want to think about it. Let me just put the latest thing that can be up there and just do that.
Yeah, so basically this year they managed to centralize in one because they didn't have a strong one. Sometimes it happens. It's kind of weird. It's very weird. The Coda, do you remember, won quite a few as well that year, you know?
And everybody expected that to be a groundbreaking moment in history where more the factor would have had the chance to actually be hired. And that didn't change. They had the main actress that won the Oscar saying that although she's been proactive in trying to change that, nothing has changed after Coda won because everybody forgot about it. Because once again, that was a season where there was a lot of like easygoing movie, easily forgettable. And this year is going to be the same.
Of course. Just to finish this episode on a high note, I just want to say that the Oscars in 2 years will have the new movie of Christopher Nolan, the new movie of Denis Villeneuve, the new movie of Steven Spielberg, and the new movie of Martin Scorsese.
And the new movie of Wicked also.
No, Wicked is next year.
Yeah.
And these movies are in 2 years. But it's hilarious. Like that edition will be mental, like last year.
All of these tiny movies to scruffle up and go away.
I am.
It's not
honestly,
even the fact that like tiny movies is like you are standing in the presence of this kind of director. That's enough.
Maybe we have Timothée Chalamet again, by the way, next year with Marty Supreme. I don't know. We'll see. He's doing Marty Supreme, so he's doing Marty Supreme.
I mean,
so
I don't despise the guy. Like, as I told you,
no, me neither.
For some
I'm
reason.
just saying.
But at some point, he will do a role that they will actually deserve it. So I'm happy with that.
Oh, no,
we'll
for
have
sure.
to see.
I'm sure he will win an Oscar sooner or later.
Yeah,
you know?
of course. But we'll have to see who was against him. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been great, and it's late, and I am dying, and it's only fair that we go to sleep.
That we go to sleep, since none of us had more than 3-4 hours of sleep, and all of us are going to work.
And we're gonna take a week pause.
I think we actually take not this week, the week after, you know, because it's my birthday, and maybe next week Feds and I will talk about Mickey 17 and Julie will take 2 weeks rest. We'll see. We'll see how to organize the squad.
I don't. I can just be here talking about the past and work of the
Robert
guy.
Pattinson.
Yeah, why not?
Pattinson. Of course. Amazing.
I can't do anything else. I mean, I haven't.
I'll see you next week, and then we'll take.
Thank you very
break.
much.
Yes.
It's been lovely. Have a good night. I'm going to sleep because that's too.
Bye.
Bye.